Builders, hey, this is a fun one for me. The first time I've got a vendor on here that pertains to y'all that might be a good option for you. We're talking about all things technology. We've got MK with Track 3D, job progress, and automated visibility into production. Interesting conversation with NK regarding construction technology, regarding specifically automated reality intelligence, not artificial intelligence. So super cool to talk to him. Hope you guys enjoy it. NK, welcome to Atomic Construction. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you making time to come talk to us.
Hey, Kevin. Thank you for having me and looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, I've got a lot to learn from you. So I've got a couple tech developments of my own. You are let me give you a brief introduction and then you can kind of just tell us your story. So you would be, to me, a tech guy. I'm gonna call you a tech guy. You're a tech guy that came to our space, the builder world, and that tells me we have a lot to learn from you. That tells me that you might be smarter than us in the past life, but now it looks like builders are going to be sexy in the future, right? So, anyway, so you founded a company, I believe, co-founder and CEO of Track 3D. Looks like a platform primarily oriented around showing and managing and progress, visibility, some type of AI back something or the other. Looks like you raised 10 million. That's awesome. Kudos. That's exciting. I've not done a capital raise. I'm getting excited to do my first one. So I have so many questions for you, but maybe a little bit about the founder. Can you just tell us your background? It looks like, I think you're in Cali or your company's in Cali. And I guess take us from the beautiful moment of birth to the day of today, which is wherever you guys are at with this technology company. Tell us about it.
Absolutely, Kevin. And one thing you got right was, I'm the tech guy. But one thing you didn't get that right was, I'm smarter than you. No, I'm learning constantly and, learning with all the folks building, right? So this is a domain which is something I'm learning every day on and super exciting to learn about this, right? So yeah, to take you through my background, right? We started Track 3D about 4 years ago. And when I say we are three co-founders, me, Vineet, and Kiran, who've known each other for more than 20 years now. We are friends since high school, have worked together for a long time. Two of us, or in fact, all the three of us have been working together over the last 8 years. And while you say the right thing about tech guy, all my life has been about starting technology companies in working on cutting edge technologies such as 3D vision, AI, robotics, IoT, and extended reality. And what's been particularly exciting to us or me specifically is the convergence of these technologies to solve real world problems. And by real world problems, the first hypothesis that we had was our real world is three-dimensional. In fact, it's multi-dimensional. But for far too long, we have been trying to understand it in 2D or even with words. It doesn't do good justice to it, right? So that's been the core of what I have been working on, although it's been on different domains. Like I started out in the medical domain during neuro rehabilitation. So this was people suffering with upper body motor disabilities. How can we create a virtual environment for them so that we can help them recover faster? From there, it was furniture augmented reality. Like how can we see furniture in your living spaces without needing, and this was back in 2013-14. Back to smart devices, home automation, industrial automation, to the last startup where all the three of us got together and we were building something for smart cities. Like we were creating digital replicas of entire cities so that the administrators can have better operational visibility over everything that's being built or everything that is built as well. So that is what led us to the world of construction, because cities do a lot of construction, right? And one sub problem that started over there was how can we actually help cities track their progress of construction projects? Because it was very subjective back then. And that is when we realized that, this problem statement is very unique and we are well placed with our understanding of technology to solve it in the most simple, fast, cost effective, and accurate levels possible. So that became the birth of Track 3D. We said, let's only focus on the built world, and there's so much value that we can actually create for everyone, right? For every builder, practical.
And that's how we get to today.
Yes. So that's the genesis of Track 3D. And then, I can take you through the Track 3D's journey as well. But, would love to see what you have, Kevin. I hope this gives you a perspective.
Yeah. So help me. So I'm like big on this, but like, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna coin my own term, and maybe I'll make a shirt like the last hammer. I'm like the last hammer of the job. Like, who's the last one to swing a nail? Like maybe I'm passionate about it because we're the fence guys, so we're the last guys to ever show up. So I just want to make sure I'm understanding the software, and I love your background. So, and are you guys all stateside? Have you always been stateside?
No, I moved stateside actually last year. Before that, I was doing a lot of to and fro. Our tech team is based in India, Hyderabad in India, and our entire GTM team is based in the US. So I'm in California right now.
Yeah,
The Bay
I so
Area.
badly want to. I so badly want to ask you political questions about our general ecosystem, but I'll let you get away with one because that's probably not the publicity that you're running after. But I'm an ever curious guy. I'm so curious of like what India's perception of America is and has been, and from your lens, I mean, that's a moving target, but we'll save that. We'll save that maybe offline another time. But so welcome last year, full time in America for good and bad, I'm sure. So you're welcome, and I'm sorry, I suppose. But yeah, so you're telling me a story, and I'm speaking from the perspective of the last hammer. Is like, what he said a few things. I heard 2D, I heard 3D, I heard towns are being developed. I'm like, what the heck is it? And so I'm going to speak in my nomenclature, which is something I've seen on the plan room, is like the data centers. And it was the first time for me was probably like 2000. I don't remember. I can't remember if it's before the military or after. It was after. So yeah, 2000, we're going to say 2017 is somebody was like, you need to do BIM. And I'm like, what the freak is BIM? Right. And now, so we need to do, I don't actually know what BIM stands for other than I've got a 3D render. I've got to do more, a shop drawing now needs to be some type of digital representation. So first tell me what BIM is. And then I'd say, can you walk me through what you guys saw? So I'm hearing you say, I'm designing cities in 3D instead of these, hundreds of pages of prints, which we still need. I'm going to design it in 3D so you actually can see a rendering of this city. So you guys do that, and then bring me forward to a little bit more of the details of your project here. I'm going to butcher the name. 3D Track 3D. Is it Track?
Yes.
Is it Track 3D? Okay.
Yes, it is Track 3D, and I'll tell you what the 3D means. So a lot of people have that misnomer that, the 3D is the BIM. And that's why I'll not talk much about the BIM first. First, I'll talk about what the 3D actually means. And let's equate it to the smart city use case, right? Where we're creating a digital replica of your entire city. Now, this has nothing to do with, CAD modeling or, 3D modeling in Revit of your buildings and all of that. Nothing to do with it. Imagine now you see a Google map, right, of your city. How you see it? You see it with satellite imagery. Satellite imagery on a map, you see ortho maps and you see the imagery, you know where the roads are, you know where the buildings are. But what you don't know to a good level of accuracy is, what the road conditions are. How many trees exist? What is the height of the building? Is the new building as per the city permits? They have a pool inside that house. Is the pool according to the regulations? You can't see from a satellite image. You can get a rough idea of it, but you can't measure of it. You can't say the height of the building exactly or the height of the tree exactly, right? So that is the 3D part of it. 3D makes images measurable, if you think about it this way. And what we used to do is we used to fly drones over the entire city, as well as vehicles with cameras attached go around the city. So you have the top perspective as well as the on the ground perspective. Combine them all together to form actual 3D replica of the city itself, where everything you can almost see every pothole, every junction, every signage that is missing, all of that, so that city administrators can manage their city better. You can almost give new certificates of occupancies for new buildings being built, because you have the dimensions of every building built, you have the height, area, the setbacks, all of that are now automatically done. So that is the power of 3D actually. And that is what Track 3D does. What it does is, it takes imagery. All we need is a moving camera. Now, imagery could be a drone imagery, it could be a robot, it could be a person walking with a camera or a person walking with a mobile phone. Simple as that. But imagine you just walk around your site with a mobile phone and the system automatically replicates that in 3D so that everything becomes measurable. So all you need is a camera, a moving camera, and the minimum thing is your mobile phone. That's it. The system is intelligent enough to convert it into intelligent insights where everything can be measured to half an inch level precision.
And so that's wild. And so the primary, I guess, what is the primary use case for owner? I mean, I know I see all three listed, which is really cool, by the way, because most people don't even pretend to care about us. I'm gonna call them the last hammer. I'm gonna keep saying so. But is the primary use case? I'm assuming this is for owners, and this is more. My GC is billing me at this percent, and this is nowhere near it, right? And so that's gonna flag for me that like they're asking for more money than they should be, and I've got a little bit of proof to say. So is that the primary use case? Am I guessing it that right?
That is one of the primary use case, Kevin. And as I told you, right, our website also lists all the three stakeholders, right? Owners, general contractors, trade partners. And the way we started building Track 3D was first approach general contractors first, because general contractors have access to a lot of job sites simultaneously, and they have to manage the risk on multiple job sites. Now, for them, the use case became, one thing is pay application validation. Yeah, how much work has been done by a trade partner? Has it been done right or wrong? Coordination between trades. Hey, the drywall is done, for example, and now you have to do the ceiling MEP. You now know, hey, this region is actually done. You can exactly see what is done, what is not done, so that you can stack your trades better. You can coordinate activities better. And number three, you can avoid reworks as well. If a mistake has been done, you catch it much, much early before it becomes a costly rework. Now, doing this, what happened was, trade partners started seeing this and said, hey, this is very, very interesting. This is even more important for us because productivity tracking gives us the metric whether we are making money or losing money on a job. To the last hammer use case, I'll tell you, right? That became our next group of customers and partners who are actively working with us because their goal is to track meticulously, almost on a daily basis, what's been the productivity like. 10 people were deployed on job site A today, and they were doing like 100 linear feet of drywall or 100 square feet or 1,000 square feet of painting or tape and mud, whatever is that thing, right? You measure it to that level so that you know how your crews are actually performing. Where do you need more attention? You can do more proactive planning around things, and you always know, right? Without asking anyone, you know how much progress has been made. And again, if something is wrong, you have the visual proof for it.
You started with the GCs, and then the specialty guys had it's like, well, we need to manage our progress because this tells us how we're making money, which is cool. So I guess, how developed is the tech? Are you fully developed? Like, obviously I'm seeing your Hensel Phelps has used it, Turner's, some of the big, some of the grades. Like I'm suspecting that this is a lot adopted in data centers because the owners of data centers are very innovative and they're tech people. So I'm assuming that's primarily, but where are you relative to, and I don't know the terms when you're building tech, this could be a different lesson that you could teach me, but like, is it most of what you want it to do, or is it still evolving? Where do we stand today as far as the tech, like the platform itself? Is it fully baked?
Well, software, as you know, Kevin, is always constantly evolving. There's no end to the evolution of software. But where we are at right now, we are already providing some really amazing value to different kinds of projects, right? It's not only data centers. There are multiple data centers that we are working on, obviously, because of the data center construction that is happening. But then there are multiple airports, multiple hospitals, multiple stadiums, all the way, all these mega projects, all the way to much smaller projects like fire stations, research facilities, even retail outlets, right? Now, there are many retail outlets, but the owners are signing up directly. And these could be 10,000, 20,000 square foot retail outlets. that are getting built in like 3 months, but they are enormously benefiting, especially the owner use case, right? This is what I wanted to talk about, anyways. These are the third set of users who said, yeah, it's important for us during the construction phase. We can see where the project is, are we paying to the milestones, all of that, as you had mentioned. But they're saying this is not only useful during construction, but this is the most accurate as built of the project possible. So this will help me in the operations and maintenance phase as well, because I know beneath that wall where exactly the piping is, where exactly the backing elements are, and everything is measurable, right? So you exactly know, you can do an X-ray kind of a vision, go back and see everything. So that becomes interesting. So projects of any shape and size. The smallest project we did was a single family home renovation. It was $100,000 job. The largest we did was multi-billion-dollar projects. So it comes across the entire spectrum, and we built Track 3D like that, irrespective of the size, shape, location, the type of the project. We should be able to create value. That was the main perspective.
So let's get to brass tacks, because my last hammer folks don't have attention and they're probably annoyed that I haven't asked this already. So what does it cost? So, and like generally, is it, I would assume that the ideal world is every project is built on Track 3D, right? That's the ideal world is, so, the owners are using it. The owners are using it. The owners, sorry, my breakfast is getting delivered. The owners are using it. The subcontractors are using it. The designers are using it, right? You take it end to end. It's a Track 3D project. But I'm assuming you've got some subcontractors, specialty guys, last hammers that are just, we're using this on our projects to make sure that we're efficient and all of those things. But so talk to me about us. I'm going to call them my people, the specialty guys. I mean, if I go to sign up for this, I'm assuming subscription? Is it a per project? How does it, if I want to try it, can I get a demo? Let's do the whole, like, if people are interested, what is it that they might be interested in?
100% Kevin, and great that you brought it up. Let me put the four main design principles that we followed while designing Track 3D, and I'll come to the cost. Like we said, the right balance between speed, accuracy, simplicity, and cost effectiveness should be there for Track 3D to be applicable across any project. So speed, right? This is important part, speed and simplicity, because our setup time, you don't require like weeks of setup time or even days of setup time. Like 15 minutes, you can get started with Track 3D. It's that simple. Upload your shop drawings. We don't even need the BIM model. That's why I said, let's move past the BIM. BIM is an additional input that we can take, and we can do something extra if the BIM model is present, but we do not require BIM to track progress. That is one of our key differentiators as well. So you just need your shop drawings uploaded, the project is set up, you can get started. So that is the simplicity part, simplicity and speed. And one more aspect of speed is, you can be doing this on a daily basis. Capture progress on a daily basis. The system will automatically give you reports on a daily basis on what's the progress like. So that is a turnaround time. Accuracy, I told you it's a half an inch accuracy because we do multisensory fusion and all the tech that we have built behind it. So you get precision to half an inch. And cost effectiveness, because of the way we have built it, I told you again, it's applicable to any kind of project. We charge per the square footage of the site. So any new customer or partner who wants to try Track 3D out, they start on one project, and that project is a square footage. So say 100,000 square feet job. For the specialty trade partner, right, it would become something like approximately 10 cents per square feet. Like you're paying $10,000 for using Track 3D. And the rates obviously vary across different trades, and as you go across the general contractor or the owner as well, because the value propositions are quite there's subtle difference, although the core product is the same. Now, other than that, we keep it extremely simple. We say unlimited users, unlimited number of scans. We do not restrict you on the number of captures you want to do. We don't restrict you on the number of users you want to have on that project. Or we don't even restrict you on the amount of elements you want to track. Anything that you can see, we say if you can see it, we can track it. So if it is visually distinguishable, you should be able to track it through Track 3D. And there are more than 200 elements that we are currently easily tracking.
And So let me do two, and I have to. Today's back to back, so this is super unprofessional. But I'm going to go off camera and shove my face for a minute while you're talking. I will be listening, so I hope you don't mind. It's just one of those days for me. But so there's I view this, and I'm like I said, I'm not a smart guy, but there's like if I'm just using this as me, the fence contractor, and the job is not a Track 3D project. Then I'm going to have a different set of fees. And then all of the recording is going to be on me. And so, Mike, is that right? And so then would you go buy the project still, or would you is there an agreement for an annual subscription for me, or how would that work?
Yes. So that is how it starts with. Everyone wants to try us out on one project, but where it evolves to is, you say, let's do an enterprise agreement. I want to use it across multiple projects. Then you commit into a bucket of square footage. Say, I'll do 100,000 square feet, but it will not be one project. It will be across 20 projects. And each project will be different. So you commit to that. And as projects get onboarded, we keep the pricing extremely flexible in that sense. So that way, you can keep onboarding projects. You're just committing to, hey, this is the amount of square footage I'll bring on the platform within 1 year duration.
And then so I'm a linear foot guy, right? Because Fences is built linear. So like you might have a data center. Let's just take a hypothetical. You're going to have a data center with like 20,000 linear feet. And then you might have the same data center, but it's already got its fence, and all I'm doing is the dumpster. How would that work, I suppose?
Yes. So we do have separate pricing. For example, we do linear, like roads as well, for example, infrastructure, or it could be, pure pipelines. In those cases, right, we take the linear feet or linear miles basically, and we have separate pricing model for that. So in this case, like a fence, or even if it's a mechanical duct and someone gives us the linear feet, we price it per the linear feet. And again, right, the price varies per a few parameters on what you're tracking. But again, we equate it to square footage in a way. So internally, it's simple, and we can give that linear feet pricing as well.
And I'm sure this is a question you're not going to want to answer, but as an order of magnitude, I'm just going to say I'm a reasonably equipped fence contractor. So I've got 5 crews. Each of them are finishing a project a week, which isn't true. We might have, but just say I've got 5 crews, 52 weeks. I'm doing like 260 projects. Is there any rough order of magnitude of like what you would expect that annual fee to be, or per project for us? Like very hard, because we've got $20 million fences and we've got $2,000 fences. But just as if you were, if somebody's getting ready to explore this and really wants to have an idea of what they're trying to spend, how could you paint them into a box of understanding the cost commitment?
So honestly, I don't have the answer for that, Kevin, because, we have not done specifically for fencing yet. There have been other trades that we have done, like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or, drywall, all of this singularly. But fencing is something we have not done yet. So it's something we will have to work out and come out. But what I can say is, it will totally make sense. The pricing will be so practical that, sitting from anywhere, you can manage all your crews and, exact visibility without having anyone to log in anything, right? You're not asking them, hey, enter me the work that you have done today, or give me this data. All of that is coming automated to you. So I think you will see the value quite instantly, although I will have to work on the pricing.
Sorry if you heard my plate clack, and I'm almost done. I should have prefaced, nobody's bench. We're still DOS based. Like most of it, there's people still using paper and pen. So I wouldn't blame you for not targeting us at all. So, but like if you take, and it's unfair. I always ask unfair questions, and it's part of what makes me great and makes me terrible. But like if you got a $20 million shop, what would you expect as an order of, compared to their revenue? What is it costing them? Like, and we can say that they're like, I can make the case for you that their labor is 20%. And if they can save 10% on that, like, right, I can do I'm just curious, because I have no effing clue what the cost would be. So just trying to get it into a closer ballpark.
So approximately, for ease of calculations, right, Kevin, you can consider about 1 basis point should be a good number to consider. Like someone making 20 million in that case, um, uh, you 0.01% of that, right? So that could be your annual cost across all your projects.
Okay. Got it. That's helpful. Thank you for most people are like, don't want to talk about numbers. Nobody ever wants to talk about numbers. I'm like, well, numbers make the world go round. Okay. So, I guess 4 years in the making. When were you guys revenue bearing? Was that how long did it take to get like, this is more of my tech. Now I'm just curious about what it takes to build tech. And and then I will, before I'm going to go down all my rabbit holes. And then before we hang up, I'll make sure that like if I missed anything you wanted to talk about there, that I give you the floor.
No, perfect. I'll tell you, right? So the first, when we started 2022 Jan, I think we commercialized our product towards the end of 2023. So it took us almost 2 years to get the commercial product ready. Before that, it was a lot of discovery, me being curious, going from job site to job site, asking the right questions, or asking questions. I don't even know whether they were right or wrong, but my curiosity, just asking questions and, saying, let's build something very meaningful and impactful for the field. That was the main goal. So 2023, we started commercializing and it was not much. 2024 when we started seeing good traction. 2025 was when we actually have proven out the product, and now along with the early believers, now we have a lot of top ENR companies actually working with us. So end of 2025, and we are on track to be growing like at least 5x from even now to 2026. So 2026 looks even better.
And do you have any? That's awesome, by the way. Kudos to you. Like, I think people, yeah, I mean, that's really cool. And I want to spend a little bit more time diving into the project that got you guys' eyes on construction, because that's telling to me. But is there at some point, somebody was sitting in a room with the guys of Procore and the guys of Plan Swift and they're kind of just everywhere, right? Is there a goal for you guys? If, like you said, 5 times over, like, what is the, they do BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. Is this like when, I suppose my question, to be more clear, is NK, what is the most audacious goal you have for this company, and when do you think you realize that, and what does it look like when you do realize it?
Right. So the most one is, the number of projects that we can actually impact. So we are still looking at that as a metric. For example, next year, that number is somewhere, today we are at about 400. Next year, it's going to be about 2,000 projects actually. So that is about 5x growth in the project and almost 5x growth in revenue as well. That's what I told you, right? Last year to this year, we were on about 20 projects last year. So it's been 20 to 200, 10x growth. So this actually, we want to take it to the level where, in 3 years time, we hit that magical 100 million revenue kind of a number. And 100 million revenue would almost make it like about 10,000 projects.
And how this is one of the things I've been wanting to reach with. Do you know how many new construction projects, not including residential, new industrial? Do you know what is the TAM of that number? Do you have any idea annually in America?
Yes, we do. In fact, we have quite detailed numbers. So the TAM was somewhere around $5 billion basically right now. Only looking at the projects that we are serving, we are not even looking at the residential market for this one. It was pure commercial and only in the US.
And that's 5 billion to you. That's 5 billion for you. Do you have how many projects do you have any idea how many projects that?
Yes. So that number actually came out to be somewhere around, don't quote me exactly on that, but more than 20,000 projects or something like that.
20,000.
But I'll get you the exact
good
numbers. I don't have it at the top of my head.
All right. You got to tell me how many of those have fence on it.
Right. I can give you that info as well. Yeah.
Can you? Because nobody knows that.
Nobody knows that, right? But in the specs, basically, if you have it, that is where you can get that from.
That's awesome. So, and then this is more on my business side. Everybody builds a nice business and then they sell it to the big business. Are you guys going to exit, or you want to hold that? Are you when you hit the 100 million? Are you guys going to pass it on to the next person, cash your chips in and get your investment back? Or are you guys sticking around?
Not really, Kevin, because we have done that previously in our earlier startups. But that one company when you can actually create a, a really massive impact, right? We believe this is that opportunity for us. So we had offers already come in, which we could directly reject, right, without even thinking about it. Not because the numbers were not good, numbers were life changing already, but we are having too much fun building this right now. All the three
Nice.
offers, right?
You just,
And that is our metric.
I don't know. I don't know if you did your research on me, but you just became a hero in my book. I think that people that are building businesses to sell them, we'll leave that. That's awesome. That's really cool that you guys enjoy what you're doing and feel like there's an impact on it. That like speaks. So, is there anything that you want to make sure that we talk about? Do you want to anything you want to self promote, or you want the listener to take away from this? I think I love your perspective of like, you want to know how your building's built. Like, you've now got not just a file and a plan set that you don't understand, but you have a visual representation of like, yeah, I think that's great. But is there anything else that you want to make sure that we cover down on?
Not really, Kevin. One point, though, I wanted to stress upon was, we call it reality intelligence, right? That is the term we have coined it. So, reality intelligence is nothing but reality capture and artificial intelligence combined together. And at Track 3D, we are pioneering that reality intelligence so that every job site can get insights without you learning a new software. That's the important part. Now, the way we are designing Track 3D is, for the superintendent on ground or the foreman on ground, directly picks up his mobile, asks a question like, what is the work supposed to be done yesterday? How much work was actually done? And they get an answer to it immediately without even needing to log into the system, going into Track 3D, doing all that. So that accessibility piece, I believe, is super important because, again, right, any tool, you should not learn it. You should actually directly derive value out of it. And that is my perspective. And I'll tell you why I came to that point also is because, construction industry, generally people consider a tech laggard and doesn't have a good reputation in that sense, right? Every statistic you see, construction would be the last. I went in and, from an outsider perspective, when I came in, I was like, okay, it might be very, very hard for this industry or, solving a technology problem for this industry. But what I realized very quickly was no, it was not the people problem. It was not people who were tech laggards. It was this technology company's problem. We have not built solutions which are simple, fast, accurate, and cost effective enough to truly make massive impacts. And there have been good companies who have done that as well, but very few examples. So we thought that is a very good, use case for us to tackle. And if we are able to solve for that, that is where we become applicable on every job site. So I would say my learning has been the industry is tech forward. They are ready to look for solutions, provided it is simple, fast, cost effective, and accurate as well that you can trust. So if any vendor can do that right, if any technology company can do that right, the industry will embrace them. That is my perspective. I'm yet to be proven wrong on that one, but I believe that if we continue executing on that path, I think everything else will happen automatically. The 10,000 projects I talked about, 100 million, that are all vanity metrics once we create this impact.
Can you speak to the industry? I don't know what you heard of that. And I'm going to invite everybody in the construction tech space to come on and talk about why their stuff's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I find more vacancies than I do gaps. I think the one thing I would say is there was any number of accounting softwares. Like everybody knew that we needed an account, but everything in the middle, even the CRM, is kind of just not there. There's plan rooms. So anyway, what do you see? And I would love your, like, if you don't want to talk bad about anybody, which I respect, just like the best of and proceed with caution list from your sensing and why, if you don't mind. I'd love to know it from a tech guy.
Again, my golden hypothesis over here is, and I may be absolutely wrong, but I believe where it will go is, we are in that, I say golden because, we are in that golden age of AI right now. AI can be that enabler of creating that perfect ERP, which is extremely, extremely customized to you. Now, say you have three source of truths, three systems of truth, right? You have your Monday.com to manage your daily task, for example. You have another task, for example, for your CRM, and you have one more task to manage your inventory, one more system. These three systems using a system like AI, which can actually have this unstructured data along with your imagery and insights generated by a system with Track3D, connect all of them together and give you on a interface like your messages app, your Slack, Teams. You should not have to use a new tool, is my perspective, and that is what AI will unlock for you. And maybe some of these tools also you stop using, and you make it like Excel, simple Excel based things where you have data, but you can now make sense of the data and create reports as and when you wish to. So there are some interesting companies working in this space, Kevin, and I'm happy to make those connections as well. One I feel is really good is, Thiago from Data Grid. They are working in this AI agent space, and they have already built in a lot of connectors, including we are working together with Track3D as well. And that is a huge potential unblock that you can get. Other than that, there are also multiple solutions, right? And I'm happy to make those connections because I know quite a few of these people who are trying to solve different problems, and all of these are working well together now just because of AI.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to I'd love to talk to anybody in your network, particularly as it pertains to construction tech. But then is there, you've got to integrate with, so you've got QuickBooks, we've got Procore, we've got Building Connected. I mean, and if you're talking to, again, the last hammer. So I'm a younger company. I'm immature relative to my fullest potential. All I know is I need to leverage tech. I want to be on the cutting edge of what I can, but I'm still working out my process, right? Like I'm not fundamentally sound in my business. Would your recommendation be get your process and fundamentals right, or is it help tech? When do we get tech involved, and is it recommendable? Like, the household brands to me, the Procores, the Building Connecteds, the Stack, the Plan Swift. Is it, as this is moving, and I think the answer probably was different 3 years ago because this is moving so fast, but is it go boutique? I think in the past, boutique was dangerous. Like, boutique was expensive, long, painful. I watched people adopt like ERPs and just F up their businesses. So like, my guidance would have been, don't go boutique in the day. Now with AI, it's like boutique seems to be affordable, fast, effective, and maybe even more efficient. So would that kind of, I just made that up. So you can tell me that is stupid. What would your, what would your guidance be?
So I would say a mix of both, Kevin. You have your different systems of truth, right? Like Procore, Building Connected, all of these things that you're using. If you're using them, use them, but device AI agents immediately, right? You can start on them today. Agents very specific to your use cases, just mapping out, and you can keep experimenting and iterating on your processes as well. Don't wait for your process to be finalized before you start tech. Use tech to enable those processes, actually. Test them out and then keep iterating on them. That's the way I would do it. Again, right? I don't have practical experience running that job myself. But if I were to do it, I would do it that way. I would use tech to enable the process rather than, because, there'll be multiple cycles of iteration you want to do. And maybe this is a faster way of doing that.
And so that's great advice. Thank you. And I guess I sit here assuming a lot of my audience at this current juncture, you're probably intimidating, and they're like, well, I don't even know how to I can't even do it with my AIA. But also, I guess I got to start. Is this like a picture away from my AIA billing being automatically filled out, or is it not quite that? Is it that fast? Is it like?
It is that fast. I would say today you would be surprised. You just have to go it and give it a shot. Try something with even like simple things like ChatGPT, for example, right? What you can try to do as an experiment. At least these are good tools to start experimenting with. try to make your billing app out of that, or any one use case. You say that, hey, this is taking me a lot of time to do right now. Is there a better way of doing it? And just be open to the possibilities. If you're that have that curiosity and open to exploring, you'll be surprised how immediately it can create value for you. It will not take too much time.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I'm fascinated by this because we have a really hard time. We have such a hard time tracking progress on a job. Like my problem is I don't know if they're gonna freaking go take the pictures, so that doesn't do me any good. Like if the GC had it, I'm like, okay, this will work because the GC is gonna go take. Let me stay on that really quick. So am I like progress billing before anything's built? So like, is it going to be able to, and I think we're probably going to be the most painful adoption case for you if we ever adopt. Like I think fencers and landscapers are going to be, probably this works way better for others, which is totally fine. I don't only speak to fence contractors, I'm very careful to not, but is it capable, like when my material's on site, to know what material is there relative to like, I take a picture and it's like, well, that's only one load. There needs to be 5. Like, does it do that good? Or is that's a little bit
That's the evolutionary piece, actually, Kevin. Right now, we are only counting the elements which are installed where they're supposed to be installed. But we are already tracking like stacked material. We are not quantifying them for you. We're saying that, between yesterday to today, this was the difference. I see additional material being put over here. The next phase of that is, to tell you what that material is it and how much of it is there actually. Now, once we do that, I think so your use case will be solved. Well, but it will be good to explore that, Kevin, with you. I'll be very curious to understand how that would help, or, how we can actually create a better working solution for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I would just say if you guys don't have anybody on, I don't know what you guys are doing for SME. I would love to. I would love to participate and be. I'm at least an advocate for the last hammer. So if you need a specialty advisor of sorts, sign me up. I would love to. I would love to contribute. But so then I guess going back to my I don't want to use the term young, immature, but I'm going to say I'm a growing company. I'm an evolving company. I'm listening to this and I'm like, gosh dang it, I got to figure out my technology, but I don't know. I'm struggling to figure out if I need an accountant or a finance person. I'm trying to figure out, I got to find the right grade. I'm just overwhelmed by the business. I need a CTO, right? I need a chief technology officer. I can't afford a bookkeeper, or, I'm making it very drastic and painful. Do you have good switchboard options, good advisors and network that you could maybe promote today or send me a list of that we can kind of put it out there? Because I think a lot of my audience is going to hear this and that's really awesome one day. So what do I do for me now? And it's like, I would love to bring those people on as well, and talk through that. But is there such a thing? And I'm gonna give you a different user case just to play to my last hammer audience again. Is like freaking finding a good lawyer for me was a disaster. Finding like it's like, and where do you go to get advice? So do you have any good people that are reasonably affordable that aren't trying to? The big problem is like you can't be an advisor because your goal is to sell me your product, right? Is somebody that's like, kind of agnostic
neutral,
to the.
Yep. So I do have basically, Kevin. So I use many of those advisors myself actually to learn about construction. This was the other way around, right? And I would love to actually engage with you, Kevin, as a subject matter expert that you talked about. On the other side round, right, I can actually connect you with the right people or pass you those contacts as well so that it benefits your broader community. I'm happy to do that. But irrespective of it, right, what I would say is again, right, list one pain point. One thing where you can think that, hey, today, this is very inefficient. I'm spending a lot of time doing this. And if I had this, I know this will be much better. Have one of that listed. And, the tech is the most easiest part of it, actually. Solving the tech. Any decent advisor would be able to solve that for you. And I'm happy to make that connection, as I told you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it'd be cool to have them on and kind of talk. Yeah, maybe I can go find some user cases for whatever. And if I can be helpful for your project, sign me up. I'm trying to think if there's any. Okay, so let's talk. We got to go. I can't let you escape without one deep and philosophical question and conversation. So the advent of AI, right? There's, we humans have no shortage of opportunity, particularly here in America. I don't know if you guys in India do this, but like we're still talking about what's between our legs. We're talking about abortion. We're talking about gun laws. We're talking about the border. We got to have something to get pissed off about, right? Like, and maybe some with the planet, all, and like I don't want to be dismissive of any of those things. I used to be passionate about a lot of them. But this advent of AI, so there's two real fundamental problems. Is one, power consumption and maybe water consumption and maybe land consumption, right? You can see nobody wants a data center in their backyard, but everybody wants Facebook in a cloud. So there's that. And then there's this existential, what happens when humans don't need to think anymore?
Do we lose our jobs?
Yeah. And I think, so this one's interesting because like, even with the internet, right? I got to exist as the internet came out, right? AOL was the thing. I was probably in middle school. I'm aging myself one way or the other here, but everybody was worried, and with the printing press and with the assembly line, every advancement in society was threatening people's jobs. Now this one, and I'll advertise, I'm very much a progressive, like I'm a radical. Let's evolve. And what I've come to find is everything has been a series, and this is my opinion, has been a series of actually somewhat declining, right? It's somewhat declining, right? And like one thing that I love to do now is go chop wood. But nobody used to chop wood. You would go get a bobcat and a hydraulic thing, and like, so every advancement has made the human experience less. So all that to say, that's my perspective. I'm not very strong in it. I think advancing is good, but I think a lot of our advancements have been backwards. We'll say that. But this moment is, I believe that. So I'm going to do the three, right? Well, four. We have the computer, the internet, social media, and AI. So I would argue that computer and internet they went well. We advanced, we made business better. We did a lot of good. Now they set conditions for this third bastard child, that I'll call it, is social media, which is an absolute catastrophe. Like, we are stressed out, we are anxious, we're confused, we're overwhelmed, we're disconnected. It should be, Facebook and Zuckerberg. One day I'm going to talk to Zuckerberg. You fucked it up, dude. You screwed it up. You should have brought people together and you sold them. Like, I think the whole model it couldn't be worse in my opinion. I shouldn't say that anything could be worse, but so in your perspective as an AI professional, right? Which way is this going to go? Are we going to advance us for the betterment of like human flourishing and like good? Or are we going to reduce purpose in people, replace them with robots, and then what the heck have you? Like, and I guess you don't have a crystal ball. I'm just wondering what your perspective is, and what does it take? Let me ask the question in a more positive light. What does it take for this to go good? What needs to happen?
Two things I'll tell, right, Kevin, on that. So I'm not a social media person. I don't even have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those accounts, actually. The only one I do is LinkedIn, again, for professional reasons. Other than that, there's nothing. So connecting to that topic, though, is, I'm also a super optimistic guy. And having worked through these technologies all through my life, right, I can say one thing very, very clearly is, whenever a path-breaking technology happens, like computing and internet, right? It doesn't, more than it removes jobs, it actually creates new opportunities, actually. And I was talking about it just before, right? 5 minutes before, when I was telling, what can you do to implement technology? Now, say even 1 year back, that was technically not possible to do it. You mapping out your workflow and creating a technology process or an application for it. You would need to hire a shop. You'd need to go boutique and do something else over there. But here we are in that stage, and AI has become that enabler where you yourself can solve your problem. And when something becomes so easy, so accessible, and so cost efficient, right? What would happen is it will not be less of that. It will grow. Like when the printing press came, it was not that, hey, people started reading less. More and more things got published. More jobs got created, and then more people started reading as well, actually. So I think AI will be that enabler. More people will create apps. More people will build new technologies, new solutions to solve their problems, which will they want to first solve for themselves, but impact the larger society as a whole. Because everything will be shareable as well. And that is a positive of social media and AI working together. Think about it that way. So I feel I don't see any negative, at least right now. I think the productivity boost will be immense. That's what everyone's betting on. And main thing is, this technology will be accessible to everyone. That means that, there is no bias or there is no unfair advantage to a few people. If you are doing it that way, yes. But if not, right, if you control it and someone tries to become the superpower with that, which is also some of the trends that we are seeing, there are apparent risks that we see. So I don't, I'm again being the optimist that I am and generally the positive attitude that I have. I see much more positives than negatives coming out of this, Kevin. And we are already starting to see the impact, although not to that level, but you see that trend going in that direction.
That's awesome. I prefer to be optimistic as well. I don't know why you would ever not be. That's, a negative outlook on life. Even if the bad outcome happens, you might as well. Anyway,
100%, right? This is the next industrial revolution. So I see a lot of changes happening. Change will happen and people have to adapt to this change. But I think we have always been adaptable, right? We have been resilient, we have been adaptable, and, we will learn to live with this new future as well.
Very good. NK, anything you want to close it out with before I let you go? I really appreciate you being here. I've got some just like cascading messages for you and I to wrap up. But is there anything else you want to say to a prospective listener?
No, Kevin, one thing I would say is, try out technology basically, and don't talk to vendors, don't talk to technologies, and, don't get sold on things you don't need. But technology could be as simple as, adapting things like which are free, available on your mobile phones, and see what is possible with that. At least get your mind going towards that. The more people actually try out new things, right? I am sure so many problem statements, so many efficiencies can be created. And that is what I'm for, right? How do we make everything more productive, more efficient with the resources that we have? So I was like, embrace innovation, embrace technology, and see the benefits for it yourself. That is the one thing I would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I think I will do an intro outro after you leave. I'm really grateful to know you. I would love to, if you don't mind, I'd love to bother you with a couple of my tech projects. I would love your advice on a few because I know how to dig holes. And I dig holes. I don't know how to build tech, but we've got a couple exciting projects that I'd love your input on if you don't mind.
100%, Kevin. So same thing, right? I need your favor also to learn more about fencing, and if we can actually help you in any way. So would be great to see if you can help us as subject matter expert on that. So let's do it two ways.
I would, they'll use me. I'd love to be an advocate for all specialty. I'd love to see it because there was one thing I definitely want to talk to because it's like, if the GCs all adopt this and then just force the cost down, like you'll be a hated entity, but that might be the most profitable move for you. So it's very interesting how you come into the scene. And I don't know that that's true either, right? It's like we all use it and we like it, but nobody likes to be forced into something, even if it's good for them. So anyway, I think it'll be really fun to watch this evolve. So 3 things though, if you don't mind, what I would really love is if you've got successful testimonials. It'd be fun for me to go tell it from the PM or the builder or the owner side. So if you don't mind, you don't have to just give me a name and I'll go chase them. Like I know you're going to have confidentiality or whatever else. So that would be cool. If you don't mind sending me a list of the technology, like your peers or advisors that could go help my Last Hammer folks, like it'd be fun to invite them on. So I don't know if you want to make that connection for me. That would be cool. And then we're open. There's nobody sponsoring this. I have like 16 categories. Tech is one of them. So, if you were ever wanted to be or were inclined to be, it's an invitation, not I don't like asking people that I get to know I don't like asking people for money, but I can go through the categories. I don't want this to be sponsored by AG1, right? AG1 has nothing to do with the trades, but the official tech company of the trades, the tech auto manufacturer, like I want it to be very curated to the audience who is the builders and people that are curious about building that don't know about building. So anyway, that's my awkward plea. If anybody's listening and wants to sign up for my sales class, this would not be it. That's just a shameless plug. So NK, thanks for being here. I'm really glad we got connected. You have my email. If I can be a resource for you, I'm certainly, when the time is right, I got a couple Figmas to send over to you and ask about the capital raise and all that stuff.
Perfect, Kevin. Let's do that actually. And thanks for having me. Love the conversation. And I'll give you that 3 pointers that you mentioned. Would love to engage on that.
I think I'm going to know NK for a while. Maybe he can help me with technology. So there will be some follow-ups, and I'm going to use this to go talk to some of the other technology people and see who's supporting y'all. So in the comments, put the companies you love and hate in technology, and I'm going to go have a conversation with them. If you want to tell your story, you're invited. Go build better. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Pineapple for keeping us rolling, and we'll catch you guys next time.